Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia terletak di pusat kampus Universitas Indonesia Depok, dekat dengan Fakultas Ilmu Komputer, Gedung Rektorat UI, dan juga dekat dengan Danau Kenanga. Perpustakaan yang kami banggakan ini menyimpan lebih dari 940.000 koleksi dalam bentuk buku teks, e-book, jurnal, karya ilmiah, bahkan naskah dan buku klasik. Seluruh sivitas akademika UI dapat mengakses koleksi tersebut secara gratis. Terdapat 4 lantai yang dapat dimanfaatkan oleh sivitas akademika Universitas Indonesia untuk mengakses koleksi perpustakaan. Di lantai 1, kamu bisa membaca koleksi tematis dan karya guru besar UI. Di lantai 2, kamu bisa membaca dan meminjam koleksi buku teks dari berbagai disiplin ilmu dengan durasi peminjaman 2 minggu dan dapat diperpanjang sebanyak 2 kali. Kamu pun dapat membaca koleksi Ana, yaitu koleksi hasil penelitian mahasiswa sebagai syarat kelulusan. Kamu juga dapat mengakses koleksi khusus, jurnal, dan referensi yang ada di lantai 4. Tak hanya dimanjakan dengan hampir 1 juta koleksi, sivitas akademika Universitas Indonesia juga dapat memanfaatkan fasilitas yang begitu lengkap, seperti ruang internet, ruang kubikus, ruang naskah, dan ruang belajar mandiri. Perpustakaan juga menyediakan teknologi untuk mempermudah pembelajaran, seperti fasilitas peminjaman mandiri dan juga UIANA Digital Program. Tak lupa perpustakaan memiliki layanan pencegahan plagiarisme. Layanan ini membantu kamu agar karya kamu tidak terdeteksi plagiat. Sesuai SK Rektor nomor 208 tahun 2009, plagiarisme adalah tindakan seseorang yang mencuri ide atau pikiran yang telah dituangkan dalam bentuk tertulis dan atau tulisan orang lain dan digunakan dalam tulisannya seolah-olah ide atau tulisan orang lain tersebut adalah ide, pikiran, dan atau tulisan sendiri sehingga merugikan orang lain. Karena mengunggah karya akhirmu menjadi salah satu syarat kelulusan, Perpustakaan UI menyediakan layanan Unggah UIANA, di mana layanan ini membantu menyelesaikan berbagai permasalahan terkait pengunggahan karya akhirmu sesuai pedoman penulisan tugas akhir. Tidak unik jika bukan Perpustakaan UI. Di sini, kamu bisa menemukan bank, coffee shop, dan kantor pos untuk menunjang kegiatanmu juga loh. Nah, itu dia sekilas tentang Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia. Jangan lupa ya untuk follow Instagram dan Twitter kita di @ui_library. Semoga bermanfaat.
iGroup is a one-stop shop for information products and library technologies. We establish as the key information industry partner with our customers. Building your library e-resources can be a huge undertaking. iGroup is here to serve all of your information needs, including technology, consulting, and K-12. We were awarded with Caring Company logo by Hong Kong Council of Social Service. In this era of open access, iGroup is here to support your changing need of skills, technology, and contents. Contact us at www.igroupnet.com.
Our mission is to support libraries in their efforts to get the right books in the right hands at the right time. We understand this is a very complex process, and we're here to support you end to end, regardless of your unique needs or your unique collection strategies. We partner with librarians to help build collections on established workflows, enhance those collections, make them more efficient. We truly are librarians for librarians. In fact, many of our team members are librarians themselves.
You know JSTOR as your go-to source for academic journals and books. Now, JSTOR also brings you an ever-growing variety of photographs, artworks, newspapers, manuscripts, and other materials from libraries, museums, and archives around the world. Begin exploring at jstor.org.
On our platform, every research starts with a search bar. For this demonstration, let's have a look at the food delivery market by typing in food delivery. As you can see, links to lots of relevant statistics are displayed. Let's take as an example food delivery service usages frequency in Germany between 2018 and 2021. Every statistic is understandable at a glance and easy to include in your working process, as you can download them in different formats with one click. But it doesn't stop there. Let's take a closer look at the whole market and gain some market insight. Now you know how Statista helps to make fact-based decisions, because we love to empower people by data. Goodbye.
Ex Libris's interlibrary loan solution. Well, a lot has happened. First, we've celebrated over 500 RapidILL community members. Yay! The growth was not just in number of members, but in geographics, and we now have RapidILL members all over the world. You know, when collaborating through interlibrary loan, when the community grows, the collection coverage grows, and it is now more comprehensive than ever before, which means an even better fill rate. Yay again! And the geographical expansion means that the 24/7 coverage is better too. You know, when it's morning here, it's evening there. So librarians are practically sharing resources all day long, really, worldwide. Triple yay! RapidILL. Take your interlibrary loans to the next level.
FE Technologies is working with libraries across the world to give them cutting-edge technology that improves the library experience for both employees and patrons. If you're thinking about library RFID, you'll find FE Technologies' suite of solutions and offerings is hard to beat for a number of reasons. First, we offer a seamless solution. Our RFID products all work together to enhance the user experience, improve staff productivity, increase circulation rates, and provide unmatched security. Unlike other RFID solutions that are often piecemealed together and don't speak to one another, FE Technologies offers an end-to-end solution that manages every aspect of your library in one place. Second, we are more than a solution provider. We're a partner in your success. Our customer project team is responsive, engaged, and interested in setting up the best system for your library. Other companies will sell you some software and disappear. FE Technology is there every step of the way to ensure you're getting the most out of our systems. If you're looking to upgrade your library, contact us today for a free consultation.
Every day, professionals in health and science strive to make groundbreaking discoveries, make better decisions, and deliver better care. And we help them do it by empowering people with knowledge. But it isn't easy. There are always obstacles to overcome. One of Elsevier's boldest risks as a company was publishing Jewish German scholars exiled by the Nazi regime. Scientific progress was being crushed by prejudice, and director Ted Klautz believed history would judge him harshly if he didn't help these refugees get heard. Risking imprisonment or worse, Elsevier published English translations of their vital work. It was a brave, innovative decision and ensured that groundbreaking knowledge reached a global audience. Today, we still believe we must make brave decisions. That's why we pioneer cutting-edge technology to support the international science and medical community. The volume of research has grown exponentially since the 50s, and we have continuously improved the management of information and data. We were the world's first publisher to create and house a database, explored inventive new ways to deliver journals to scientists electronically. And before people had even heard of the World Wide Web, we created a revolutionary pilot to send articles via online connections. Each advancement was a bold step towards the launch of our first commercially available online platform. We are a global information and analytics company, #1 in global science, technology, and health publishing, working with almost every top US health system, as well as leading systems around the world. We are digital and lead the way in big data and information analytics expertise. In everything we do, we'll never stop striving to help expand the boundaries of understanding for the benefit of humanity.
Respectable at Interim Vice Rector of Academic and Student Affairs, University of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Dedi Priyadi, Degree of Advanced Studies. The Honorable Speakers, Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali, Master of Science, a Senior Manager, Technology and Innovation, Singapore Management University Library. Mr. Ari Nugraha, Bachelor of Humanities, Master of Technology Information, Lecturer from Library and Information Department, Faculty of Humanities, University of Indonesia. The Honorable Head of University of Indonesia Library, Mrs. Maria, Bachelor of Social, Master of Humanities, and the coordinators and staff, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the committee, we would like to extend a warm welcome and express our gratitude for joining in the International Webinar Management of Digital Platforms in the Academic Libraries 2024. My name is Intan, and I will be serving as your moderator today. I am a librarian at UI Library, and it is a great pleasure and great honor to welcome all of you in this webinar. The honorable distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to honor our country, let us all take a position for the listening of Indonesian National Anthem, Indonesia Raya. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the evolving landscape of academic libraries, the integration of digital platforms has transferred access to knowledge and reshaped scholarly interaction. We will be learning from two prominent speakers that already joining with us today about digital platforms in academic libraries to enhance access to information, promote collaboration among scholars, and adapt to technological advancements in the realm of education and research. And to begin with, allow me to read the agenda for today's event. First is the opening and listening of the Indonesian national anthem. Second, the welcoming speech and opening remarks from our ad interim vice rector and head of UI library. Third, presentation from the speakers, which will be followed by question and answer session. Then there will be a quiz for participants at the end and will be followed by photo session as the last program. This webinar can also be watched on the UI Library's YouTube channel, youtube.com/perpustakaan UI. And this webinar is supported by UI Library's partners, iGroup, Elsevier, Jasa Raya Tamajaya Buana, and Sagung Seto. Ladies and gentlemen, now we move to the next agenda. It is an opening remarks by ad interim vice rectors of Academic and Student Affairs, University of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Dedi Priyadi, Degree of Advanced Studies. We also would like to request Vice Rector to open the international webinar, Management of Digital Libraries, Management of Digital Platforms in the Academic Libraries. Please welcome Professor Dedi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. It is a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the international webinar hosted by the Universitas Indonesia Library. Distinguished speakers, Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali MSc, Senior Manager Technology and Innovation at Singapore Management University Library, Mr. Ari Nugraha Eshum, MTI, Assistant Professor at Department of Library and Information Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia, and Mrs. Nurintan Cynthia Samara SSI MHum, as a moderator, and whom I respect to Mr. and Mrs. Chairman of the Association of Librarian and Academic Libraries in Indonesia, lecturers and students of Universitas Indonesia, Head of UI Library, UI Library Coordinator and staff, and distinguished participants from Indonesia and abroad. Praise be to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His permission. We all have gathered here today on the occasion of the international webinar organized by the UI Library with the topic Management of Digital Platform in the Academic Libraries, Tuesday, July 16, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, the rapid growth of digital technology has an impact on the need and behavior of library patrons. The existence of various information sources on the internet mean that people can get information easily and quickly. As a result, libraries are facing new challenges and opportunities. Libraries can create digital platform to serve information need of online communities. On the other hand, libraries are also competing with other information providers who may have irrelevant or even false information. That's why we have gathered here to openly discuss and address digital transformations and management of digital platform in academic library. Ladies, gentlemen, and folks, in library, digital platform can be defined as an online environment or infrastructure that can fulfill user information need by providing information from diverse sources. Digital platform can also facilitate interaction between library patron and librarian. University library need to undertake digital transformations in collection management, knowledge management, and knowledge transfers. Digital transformation is those areas are crucial for developing digital platform in libraries and supporting Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka or the independent campus learning program. Ladies, gentlemen, folk, during this webinar, we will deliver into topics such as digital transformation in library, type of digital transfer, and digital platform management in university library. Our aim is to equip you with the knowledge and skill necessary to remain relevant in digital age as librarian and information professional. But remember, this webinar is not just a one-way conversation. We encourage you active participation through questions, comment, and shared experiences. Your insights and questions are valuable, and they contribute to the research of our discussion. Ladies, gentlemen, and folk, before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who generously help us make this event come together to become a success. I want to say thank you to all parties, especially to the speakers, moderators, head and coordinator of UI Library, participant of the webinar, and the committee who have prepared everything so that the international webinar activities can run well. By saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, International Webinar, Management of Digital Platform in the Academic Libraries is officially open. Last but not least, I ensure that webinar will be worthwhile and the next few hours will be enjoyable for every one of you. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Dedi, for the very warm welcome and for opening this webinar. Now, the International Webinar, Management of Digital Platform in the Academic Libraries is officially open. Ladies and gentlemen, as the University of Indonesia Library fully support this event, I would like to invite Head of University of Indonesia Library, Mrs. Maria, Bachelor of Social and Master of Humanities, to welcome all the participants here. Please welcome Mrs. Maria.
Thank you, Miss Intan. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the UNTAS Indonesia Library International Webinar. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. The Honorable Vice Rector of Academic and Student Affairs UNTAS Indonesia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Dedi Priyadi, DEA, distinguished speakers, Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali, Master of Science, Senior Manager, Technology and Innovation at Singapore Management University Library. And the second speaker is Mr. Ari Nugraha, Bachelor of Humanities, Master of Technology and Information, Assistant Professor at Department of Library and Information Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. And Miss Nurintan Cynthia Tiasmara, Bachelor of Science, Master of Humanities, Librarian of Universitas Indonesia as the moderator. And whom I respect to, Miss Samen, Head of Singapore Management University Library. Thank you very much for joining us. And Chairman of the Association of Librarian and Academic Libraries, lecturers and students of UNTAS Indonesia, UI library staff, and distinguished participants of this international webinar from Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei Darussalam, and Singapore. Praise be to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His permission. We all have gathered here today on the international webinar organized by the University of Indonesia Library with the topic Management of Digital Platform in the Academic Libraries, Tuesday, July 16, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, in the education sector, the development of digital technology is driving various innovation. A practical from a technology-based innovation in higher education is digital libraries. The existence of digital libraries immensely helped the learning process. However, it has been observed that user loyalty to this technology is declining and they are moving to other alternative technologies such as search engine. Because of this, librarians plays a crucial role in managing and educating their patron and how to use various digital platforms. And in 2024, UI Library held a series of national and international webinars and seminars on librarianship. The topic of first international webinar is management of digital platform in the academic libraries. This international webinar to gain knowledge and insight on digital transformation of libraries, digital platform management in academic libraries, as well as the benefit of digital platform implementation in libraries. So, we also hope the participant will be able to actively contribute in library digital transformation effort after participating in this webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, today we invite two competent speakers. The first speaker is Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali, Master of Science, Senior Manager, Technology and Innovation, Singapore Management University Library. Mr. Salihin will be talking about the best practices of digital platform management in Singapore Management University Library. The second speaker is Mr. Ari Nugraha, Bachelor of Humanities, Master of Technology and Information, Assistant Professor at Department of Library and Information Science, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. Mr. Ari will be sharing his knowledge and experience in developing digital platform for library and archive. Ladies and gentlemen, the target of this activity is the implementation of the best practices of digital platform management in libraries and other information services. The participants of the webinar are librarians and other library information science professionals, academia, graduate student, researcher, and faculty members, and general public. The duration of this webinar is 3 hours. This event is free, and participants will get e-certificate, material, and some lucky participants will get exclusive souvenir from UI Library. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end, I would like to express my gratitude to all parties, especially to the Rector and Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs of Unitas Indonesia, speakers and moderator, UI Library partner, participants, UI Library coordinator and staff, as well as the webinar committees who have worked hard to show that webinar can run well. We hope this webinar can be organized successfully, also can add new insights for librarians and information professional in Indonesia and abroad. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mrs. Maria. Now we know that the background of this webinar is quite various, and we have two prominent speakers with us today. For the next agenda, we are going to have a photo session. The first photo session, I would like to invite the Honorable Ad Interim Vice Rector of Academic and Student Affairs, University of Indonesia, Professor Dr. Insinyur Dedi Priyadi, Degree of Advanced Studies, and our honorable speakers, Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali and Mr. Ari Nugraha, also head of University of Indonesia Library, Mrs. Maria, to take a position because we will start the photo session. Mr. Hanafi, you may lead this photo session.
Okay, please open your camera. I will start the photo session. 1, 2, 3, next. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hanafi. Before we start, I would like to remind all the participants to please keep your microphone off during the webinar session, and please rename your display name as the committee has shown in the chat box. And if you have any question or comment, please submit your question on the Slido link, which will be sent by the committee on the chat box. And don't forget to mention your name and your institution, because we have 3 selected participants will get exclusive souvenirs from UI Library. Now, I would like to have a brief introduction about our speakers for today. Joining from Singapore, we have Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali. Good morning, Mr. Salihin.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum semua.
Waalaikumsalam. And from Japan, we have Mr. Ari Nugroho. Good morning, Pak Ari.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here with us. Waalaikumsalam. And now, our first speaker for today is Mr. Ari Nugroho. He is listed currently as a lecturer at the Department of Library and Information Sciences, Faculty of Humanities, University of Indonesia. He has received his bachelor degree at University of Indonesia in Library Science and taken his master degree at the same university in Faculty of Computer Science. And now he is pursuing doctorate degree at University of Tsukuba in Library, Information, and Media Studies. A senior ID specialist with over 20 years experience and competence of PHP and web programming, HTML5, JavaScript, CSS, and so on, he had also published some articles as a result of collaboration with other researchers around the world. And now our second speaker is Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali. He has received his bachelor degree at National University of Singapore in computer engineering and taken his master degree at Robert Gordon University in Information and Library Studies. He is responsible for transforming library service through the innovative use of technology as the manager of library technology and innovation at SMU Libraries. His expertise lies in leveraging digital solutions to enhance user experience and streamline library operations. He also has professional experience, including Senior Executive Information System at Islamic Religious Council of Singapore and Project Manager Knowledge and Services Development at National Library Board of Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, before the presentation begins, let me inform how the presentation will be going. So Mr. Ari Nugraha will be invited to present his material, and he will introduce to us about digital transformation of library and what is digital platforms. And Mr. Ari, you have 40 minutes to deliver your speech, and we encourage all the participants to take notes, and maybe you have a question, don't forget to submit on a Slido link, and we will answer as many questions as possible during the allocated Q&A time. Now let's welcome Mr. Ari Nugraha.
Okay. Thank you. Is my voice clear enough to be?
Yes, we can hear it clearly.
Okay, thank you. And how about my presentation? Is it shown on the screen or not?
Yes, it is shown on the screen.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I want to say thank you to the UI Library for inviting me to this very precious moment of webinar, international webinar. And please allow me to share some of the knowledge about digital platforms. And today my presentation title will be Digital Platform as a Catalyst for Academic Libraries Transformation. So I want to share how we can actually use the digital platforms in our library to transform the library performance and services. First, maybe we need to know what is actually digital platform here. So I think in the context of academic libraries, digital platforms that we will talk about a lot today is refer to a software, okay, that enhance the performance and the service of a library. I think anything that the library, do is the main goals is to increase the organization performance, and then at the end is to enhance the service of the library to our patron, to the user. So if academic libraries effectively utilize the digital platform, it can serve as a catalyst for the library's digital transformation. So I think today we may already know that everything is running in the internet right now. So internet and the World Wide Web is changing our our way in doing many things. So that's why the digital platform is very important to be used by the academic libraries nowadays. And why we need a digital platform? Okay, this is also the important questions. Why we need digital platforms? So in the age of ubiquitous internet connectivity, I think most of us right now almost cannot live without internet connection. So the utilization of digital platforms has become an essential requirement for the library. So several benefits that can be gained by using digital platform are for the library. Okay, first, time efficiency. So maybe before, like 1 or 2 decades ago, maybe some of our performance, to complete some task, we need some time, more times. But right now, we can use a digital platform to cut this time to complete the task, and then we can use the spare time to do something more valuable than just doing some task and doing it for a long time. And a digital platform, I think, is a way, if you're using digital platform, the academic librarian should use this platform to cut the time to finish some tasks, so they can, they can do the everyday task quickly. And second, I think with digital platforms is a cost efficiency. Maybe this is cost efficiency is a relative, because I think there's also costs in in subscribing some of digital platform by the library, right? So for a particularly academic library, they subscribe to many services, digital services, and it actually comes with costs, of course. And the cost is, some of this cost is very big, I think. But if this, how to say, if the digital the subscription of services can be optimally used, then in the end, those costs will be covered by the, how to say, by another benefits that we can take by using the digital platforms. So it's kind of how to say, it's kind of, there is a, we need to think, academic library need also to think about return of investment, because when we adding some services, digital platform, there's a cost occurred by the subscription, and then we need to optimally use this digital platform so it can return our investment of this digital platform. That's the most important thing. So it means that the librarians, the academic librarians, should also evaluate every year, maybe, which digital platform that perform very well, and then which digital platform that is not, how to say, it doesn't give any impact to the academic survey, to the academic library service or performance. And then the third thing, why we need to use digital platform is because we need to improve our service delivery, right? So our main stakeholder of the academic library is our user, our patron. So what we have, or what we use using the digital platform should be able to improve our service delivery. For example, maybe before, how to say, when our faculty members, maybe from faculty members may be asking for something, or they're asking librarian, academic librarian, to help them in research, for example, then using the digital platform should be able to improve this, how to say, this service delivery of helping the research. Okay. Maybe before we correspondence using email only, right? If some faculty members asking, oh, can you help me to provide some of this collection or some of this data? Then using digital platform, we can enhance them using some tools that the library that the library subscribe, right? So that in that case, librarian, academic librarian, and the faculty members, and also the students can collaborate more efficiently. And then the fourth reason that we use digital platform is to provide more accessibility. I think this is important, right? How to say, in the era when everything is online right now, accessibility is important, right? Because now our collection is not only can be accessed by our faculty members and students, but also it can be accessed worldwide. So digital platform also should be able to increase the accessibility of our service, of our collections, and importantly, our services. So I think using the digital platform, we can provide a user more options for accessibility. Okay, like for example, before maybe user need to come to library to ask librarian about some reference, but using digital platform, our users, they have to come to the library and then they can just use the virtual reference services, or maybe I will explain later, or maybe we can develop some kind of robot or bot, a chatbot that can answer some of the frequently asked questions from the users. So it helps us to to offload some of the librarian tasks to the AI. Okay, so this is the reason why we need to have, or why we need to use digital platforms in academic libraries. And there is some category of digital platforms that the library should use or provides. Here I divide it into two. First is for productivity, and second is for services. So for productivity, first, as we already know, that I think most of the academic libraries in Indonesia now use library management system, right? So I think by using the library management system, or LMS, we already we already have benefits over just using some manual system. So this is old, right? This is using library management system is already like 5 decades ago, right? But still, it is important to emphasize that library management system helps the library to increase the performance of the libraries. And then another tools for productivity is a document management system. So this is kind of different. So usually document management system is is more to manage some document that are not particularly used by the organization itself or produced by the organization. And then online cataloging tools. So this is also important that I think, I don't know, I haven't read any papers about how today's academic librarians use the online cataloging tools, but I think it is important that academic librarian, particularly the cataloger, should be able to use some cataloging tools, online cataloging tools. Maybe I think UI library already subscribe to some online classification scheme, or maybe using the RDA, resource description and access tools to help them in cataloging or to creating metadata on the library collection. So I think this is important to use. And also cloud-based productivity tools. This is, I think, some of the cloud-based productivity tools maybe we already know, such as maybe you may heard about Google Workspace, and then Microsoft have a Microsoft Teams, like that. So this is mostly like online collaborative tools that we should use in everyday task, right? So before maybe we only use emails to communicate with some of our colleagues, but right now, using these cloud-based productivity tools, that we can share our resource more effectively and efficiently. And then we also know academic libraries should have plagiarism tools, right? Because this is most important things that the every manuscript, right, thesis, papers, journal papers, conference proceedings papers, they all need to be checked before they can be published. So this kind of tools helps the faculty members, the researchers in the university to check their works. Is it containing any plagiarism or not? And I think academic librarians should also be able to use this kind of tool to help the faculty members, the students, in checking their works. And also AI tools. I think this is I need to mention about AI tools because this is also important nowadays. So we know that right now, even our students is more clever to use AI tools than the faculty members, so maybe. So we can use the AI tools. Yeah, maybe the famous one is ChatGPT, maybe, or today there is a lot of the a lot of the AI tools in the internet, in the World Wide Web, that we can actually use to increase our productivity, right? So again, this is some important productivity tools, AI tools. Digital media authoring tools. I think this is also some of the, library is not some plain space with blank, blank wall. And then library should also have some creativity, right? When library, creating promotional materials like that, they need, they need a digital media authoring tools, right? Even right now, I think, most of the media tools, digital media authoring tools now provided in our hands using our smartphones. Like maybe some of us already using CapCut maybe to edit our video shots, and then we publish to Instagram or TikToks. And then particularly academic librarians, should also use this kind of tools to increase the productivities. Okay. And then last but not least is research tools. I think before our sponsors already showing some of the research tools that the library provide or use to enhance the research productivity. And then there's also digital platform in the service area. Okay, first is the most important thing is library should provide online catalog and library portal. I think this is the most important thing. And then library should also manage the institutional repository for all of the works of the faculty members and students. This is also important because I think one of the parameters of the academic library performance is the number of the the works that published to the internet. And then this kind of institutional repository helps in increasing that kind of performance, because as you know, there is some standards of the institutional repository, and that they should be able to harvest our collections so it can be feasible in the internet. And also online database subscriptions. Okay, this is also important thing that to provide our university members, faculty members, and students with the electronic journal, right? So they can they can use it for their research. This is important thing, and I think this is also maybe Ibu Maria can confirm that this is also one of the biggest costs in providing digital platforms is online database subscription. And then we also use, of course, social media channels such as Facebook and then Instagram, Twitter to, how to say, to reach our user about our service. Virtual reference service, I think this is also important. Again, a plagiarism checker. This is also important thing that the library should provide to our user. And then, like I mentioned before, library could make some robot or chatbot that can answer some common questions from our users. So this actually, this chatbot, this robot, they should have some kind of knowledge base. Because if they don't have a knowledge base, they couldn't answer any questions from our user. Who's gonna build this knowledge base, right? The question is who's gonna build this knowledge base? And the obvious answer is the library. It's the librarian itself. Okay, so it means that the librarians, academic librarians, they need to inventorize any common questions about the service of the library and then use this to train as a knowledge base for the chatbot. Okay, this is another job of academic librarian. Okay, and also again, same, we provide them with some research tools for our users. Okay, so this is what I think about the categories of the digital platforms. And most of the digital platforms that I mentioned before actually running in the cloud and run as a software as a service or SaaS, right? So nowadays, we rarely use any offline software, right? So like today, I made this presentation not using the Microsoft PowerPoint, but I'm using Canva, for example. Because what? Because my student use it, so I kind of feel left behind by my students. So I want to try. Oh, there's a new cloud tools that can be used, and it's actually I think better than the Microsoft PowerPoint because there's an AI element inside. Okay, so rather than using on-premise infrastructure. So rather than library have their own infrastructure, IT infrastructure, academic libraries may also implement platform as a service or infrastructure as a service. So anything running in clouds, right? SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS everything is running on the cloud. And of course, there's some some positive side and negative side of using cloud services, right? The positive side is that we library can focus on not on providing the hardware, but focus on using the software, using the service. Okay, and library they doesn't have to to maintain this kind of hardware to run the service. Everything is running on the cloud. Okay, the negative side is that if we are using cloud services, is that some of our data are actually stored not in our premise, right? Not in our site, but actually stored in the cloud service provider storage. So if we have some sensitive materials, that should be some consideration on should we use the cloud service to store this data or not. Okay. And then also the negative side is actually maybe costs, but maybe this cost is gonna break even with the cost of maintaining our own hardware. Okay, so I think this is some of the positive and negative side of using cloud service. And Right now, we also know the Internet of Things, that this kind of device, any device right now is actually connected to the internet. Our watch, our TV, our even our fridge, right? Even our lamp, right? These are all connected to the network. Okay. So the academic libraries may implement IoT devices such as maybe smart lamp, thermostat, room sensors, and etc. to efficiently manage and control all these devices from a single system. And also, this is not only to enhance the management of the device in a single platform, but also IoT is actually a source of data for the library. For example, I want to give example. If we have human sensors in some rooms, right? We can manage. We can have a data actually about how many people actually every day using that room, without having to manually check the room by ourselves. So the IoT kind of providing us some data about some usage. Maybe electricity usage also can be more efficient by using the IoT, right? And yes, again, I think IoT benefits is also in its data. Okay, this data is very valuable to enhance the library service. And then again, the rise of the artificial intelligence. I think nowadays artificial intelligence has been used in almost every aspects of digital platforms. Okay, so any digital platforms right now, they also kind of promote enhanced by AI, right? Mostly enhanced, or maybe even some of the how to say, some of the searching platform, they now enhanced by AI based on our behavior, right? So, our behavior online actually can be monitored, and then from that kind of behavior data, the online the digital platforms, they enhance the experience that they give to us. This is same kind of like a Google's tracking all of our data, right? Wherever we go, because we are using Google smartphone, maybe they can track the data, and then they can, how to say, they can tailor our search based on what we actually every day looking for in a Google search, right? Or are you looking for this? And even right now, there's some kind of how to say, some I don't know, I haven't confirmed it by myself, that the Google's actually listening to our conversation when we how to say, when we open google.com, is actually listening to some of our conversation, so it can provide them some data, and then it can enhance our searching. So suddenly Google recommending something that, do you mean like this, or do you like this, even though we haven't searched about that kind of thing, right? So this is kind of AI magic. So, like it or not, AI become part of our digital platforms. Academic libraries should be able to perform their tasks faster and easier if they can leverage this AI. Okay, don't make the AI don't make the AI fool you, but you should use AI efficiently and smartly, so it can you can perform your task faster and easier. And also, it's an important thing to, I'm talking about the integration with the university digital platform. So before we're talking about digital platform specifically for the library, but our university also, they have some kind of platform, right? Like in a University of Indonesia, we have SIAK NG, for example, student academic system, and faculty member system, learning management system with AMAS, for example. So this kind of platform, we should integrate with the library platforms. Okay, for example, in AMAS, in our learning management system, academic library should integrate the collection, right, into the learning management system. So when the faculty members designing the course, they can get the resource not by searching to another, platform, but actually the resource itself is already integrated into the learning management system by the university library. I think some of us already done this, but I think if we haven't do this kind of thing, we should integrate all the system into our university digital platforms. And also, it is important that I want to emphasize on data and metadata. So I think most digital platforms that we use actually produce data and metadata. And this data need to be utilized to improve the library performance and services. For example, academic librarians should be able to analyze the trend of library collection uses based on the circulation logs to improve collection development. For example, this is actually, we should done this like 3 decades ago, maybe, because the data is already there. And then libraries user profiling based on the behavior. This can also help by the artificial intelligence, by the AI, to aid in providing personalized service to our user. And again, I mentioned IoT, so we can also use the data from the IoT to analyze, for example, electricity usage to save energy costs. Because right now, everybody talking about, save the energy, save the environment, right? So using the data, we can, help library to manage all the resource more effectively and efficiently. And also, I want to mention about the academic library and digital workflow. I think this is important. First, I think from the picture, you can see that academic librarian right now should, they should work based on data. They analyze data, and then by using the productivity tools provided by digital platforms, they can then create some kind of report or summary about the data, and then this data then used to improve performance and library service. From the improvement of library service itself, then it should produce another data or metadata or logs that can be also come back to library again to evaluate. Is it the result of our improvement is good enough? If it's not good, why? That can be answered by the data, right? So this is I think the cycle of the modern academic librarian using the digital workflow, okay, based on data. And in order to be able to do all of these things, I think I need to point out about competencies, right? So I think academic librarian should have this kind of competencies. First is that the the academic librarian should be able to use the basic office softwares, and then they should be able to do a data gathering and analytics. Right now, this is important things. And then the academic librarian should also be able to use the media authoring tools, using the research tools, and using the AI tools. I think this is all competencies or skills that the academic librarian should have nowadays if you want to how to say, to use the digital platforms efficiently and effectively. And in summary, I want to summarize my my thoughts about the digital platforms, and what I already shared with all of you is that the academic library should have the capability in orchestrate all digital platforms and utilizing data from several sources in order to improve the efficiency and quality of library operation and services. I think that's summarize my presentation for today. And thank you for listening to my presentations. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to try to answer that questions. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Ari. That was a very insightful presentation about digital platforms and digital transformation of library. And I'm sure our participants has gained a lot of valuable insights from you today. And to summarize the main point from your presentation, you have explained to us if the academic libraries effectively utilize the digital platform, it can serve as a catalyst. And you already mentioned several benefits that can be gained by using digital platforms such as time efficiency, cost efficiency, service delivery improvement, accessibility. And at the end of your presentation, we as academic librarian need to enhance our competencies related to digital platforms such as data analytics and gathering, AI tools competency, and others. So let's give Mr. Ari big round of applause or giving your reaction into your Zoom menu. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to hear from our second speaker, Mr. Ari. You can stay with us until the Q&A session after Mr. Salihin's deliver his material. Thank you very much. And today, Mr. Salihin will share his knowledge about digital platform management in Singapore Management University Library. And I would like to remind again for the participants, if you have any questions, please submit to Slido link, and we will answer your questions in the allocated Q&A time after the session. And Mr. Salihin, you have 40 minutes to deliver your materials. And with that, I am pleased to turn the microphone to Mr. Salihin. Please welcome Mr. Salihin.
Okay, thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear it clearly.
Assalamualaikum semua. Let me try and share my slides. Can you see my screen?
Yes, but it's not on a full screen.
Not full screen. Okay. Okay. Again, Assalamualaikum semua. Thank you, University of Indonesia, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share whatever my experience in developing digital first libraries, and this will be also my topic for today. When Prof. Ari just now shared his presentation, I feel like I go back to library school, because he covered all the concepts and theory, and I think based on his concepts and theory, I will try my best to give practitioner kind of examples, best practice, as Ibu Maria said, on what Singapore Management University Library has done. Okay, but before I begin, let me give you a bit of background of Singapore Management University. Singapore Management University is a very young university compared to University of Indonesia. It's a baby. It's only 25 years old. So, but we are primarily focused on business management. Our first school was business accountancy, and then subsequently we had School of Law and Computing. And recently we had two new schools to the College of Integrative Studies and College of Graduate Research Studies. to show our interdisciplinary kind of a nature that our university is heading. Our school is not big, we only have 12,000 students. And as you can see, it's not a comprehensive university. We don't have an engineering school, we don't have a medical school. We are more focused on management and business. Even our computing and law are targeted to legal technology, and even our computing is targeted to information systems or business systems. Okay, so that's one difference and the context to give everybody. In terms of library, we have two libraries in SMU. This is the Lee Ka-shing Library and Kuala Lumpur Law Library. And because we are located in the city, our space is very packed. So students like to come to the libraries whenever it's during term time, and we even have areas in the library that are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. In terms of seating capacity, is not big, only 2,300 seats across two libraries, but we try to enhance the student learning experience by having different types of learning environments, be it virtual and physical, in terms of learning labs, project rooms, and even investment and data studio, which houses a lot of our research software like Python, R, Statista, Bloomberg, and so on and so forth. Our library is staffed by 38 staff, of which 20 over are professional librarians. And because we are a new library and our campus university is not big, we have always adopted electronic first collection policy, meaning to say that most of our collections are electronic or digital in nature. So we have around 500,000 books over, and most of them are ebooks. We only have 70,000 physical books across the two libraries. We have a lot of electronic journals, which Prof. Ari pointed out, yes, they are very, very expensive, and around 170 electronic databases. In terms of collection policy, we try not to buy things and put them in the shelves. We adopt a e-preferred solution or policy, and just in time, not just in case. That means we don't buy books or serials and keep it there for just in case the students want it. We just adopt a just-in-time policy. And in terms of our repositories, we also have an open access policy, so that whatever the publishers or students publish in terms of their scholarly articles or theses, we try to make them open access. Because from then the research will get more, it's called the open citation advantage. The research will get more views, downloads, and recognition, and hopefully more citation. Okay, to give a certain context, our university has these three main pillars that we are looking at. The university since early 2020 has always been looking at digital transformation, sustainable living, and growth in Asia as the areas, priority areas for where to go. So I will elaborate a bit more area in how the digital transformation in this university impacts the library, and then impacts all the library services and the platforms that we do. So I mentioned about digital transformation. We have a digital transformation framework which is led by the Vice Provost of Education and our company, our Chief Information Officer. And we look at 5 areas. One of it is digital learning. Then how to we enable research to digital means. How do we make sure our workforce, staff, and faculty are equipped with all the digital literacy and computer literacy skills? How do we enable a smart campus? And most importantly, in terms of digital transformation is nothing if we are not focusing on the user. We need to be focused, be user-centric in delivering our services. So these are the 5 areas that university, it talks about digital transformation. And I'll give a few examples on some of the library services that we do. Okay, some key concepts. I think most of us librarians and information professionals should know about this, about digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. And the way I think about digital transformation is actually changing the culture of how we work. It's not so much on changing our print books into physicals, is not so much about putting processes that are digital, but it's more of getting people to be comfortable with the technology and making use it as the way we do things. So instead, this is how I like to coin the term, instead of digital first organizations, let's try to think about how we want to build digital first libraries. Okay, one thing. So this is my provost's favorite slide, because he launched the digital learning strategy in SMU. This came about very prominently during COVID. As you know, during COVID, a lot of our students cannot come down to campus. So we had to pivot a lot on online form mode of teaching, in a sense that it can be asynchronous or synchronous, but mostly it's done online. So, and one of the strategies that the university has gone forward is to do some sort of blended learning, meaning to say the materials are prepared beforehand, students go through the materials, and when they come to class, be it face-to-face or in an online environment, they will be more focused on discussions and going into in-depth deep dives of the topic. So this encourages the students to go have a bit of self-directed learning and give them more time to review and reflect and be better prepared for class, so that when they're in class, the topics or discussions reinforce their learning. So this is one area that the university is looking at. It's not so much a challenge for the students, because the students are of a generation that they are comfortable with digital media. It's more the challenge comes from to the faculty and instructors, because we need to train them or make them comfortable to change their way of teaching. Instead of being face-to-face, they need to do a bit of blending. Means they have to do a bit of recording, they have to do a bit of preparation, they have to put readings on digital platforms for the students to prepare first. So it's a change in mindset. So yeah, the university is still trying our best to do this. Okay. And within the library, we collaborate with other with faculty and other departments to teach, to have out of classroom learning, so that they can explore other topics that they are not normally taught in their classes. So we conduct presentation workshops, we conduct programming workshops, we conduct literature review workshops as part of twice a year. That means before, it's not done in the classroom, but we hold workshops maybe during lunchtime, 1 hour, and the students will come. So we have done this for many years, and we found out that there is a high interest in workshops where the students feel that it is useful for their work. That means they want to learn skills that are useful for their work. For example, programming. For example, how to use generative AI. If they are focused on research, how do you do literature review effectively? And going forward, we have not done this ourselves, but we've invited faculty and, let's say, School of Information Systems, the Center of English Communication, and coaches to also be part of this community to conduct workshops. So to give an example of our popular workshops, if you just take one glance, a lot of students are interested in programming. And I think that's the way in the age of AI and digital literacy, it's something that we cannot ignore. Even our librarians in SMU are learning how to program. Yeah. So other than that, we also work with our Office of Human Resource and Office or a career center. There is a center which prepares students to get jobs and internships on preparing themselves through online learning platforms where they can learn about they watch videos and learn about business, technology, how to use Adobe, how to use programming in Python. And there's also a lot of videos on leadership and management. And we provide LinkedIn Learning and Udemy Business for students, faculty, and staff so that they can learn at their own pace out of their classroom. This is another offering on top of the bite-sized workshops that we offer. In terms of making ourselves enabling our technology-enabled spaces, we still have a few hardware behind. This is because a few computers in the library, I think around 20 only. But this is very specific for our financial databases because as you can know, stock market data and everything can only be accessed through Bloomberg terminals, Icon terminals, and we still continue with this. Last time I remember in the library we have 60 over computers. I have removed all of them. Only left this one lab, one studio, and inside here we have like 3 high-end computing terminals that have a lot of programming software, Statista, Stata, MATLAB, what do you call that? R, Python, R Studio, where we install for students to access and we know that these computers are more powerful than the laptops, so that if they want to do any type of data analysis or what, they can use the computers inside this lab. So even though our students have a high laptop ownership, we still provide this because we know that they like it. They want to come because we have the data, we have the software. Some of the software that we have, like textual data analysis, Covidence, LSAI, where it's used for qualitative analysis, is quite popular among students because these things, if the students get themselves, there's a high license cost to it. So we offer such software for students to do their qualitative analysis when they're doing their research. On top of that, our learning labs and project rooms are hybrid, flexible. So we have a few rooms where Zoom is enabled, where we can have some of the participants in the room, some of the participants are online and they can interact in that hybrid manner. And we try to make our rooms easy to use. So it's self-service and the instructor and learner it's very easy for them to pick up the technology. Okay. Another thing about Smart Campus is also that this year within the library, within the 2 libraries, I've installed sensors at the entrance and exits of the library. This is an example of what Prof. Ari said about IoT. So with this, we can actually know how crowded the library is. This was first idea was during COVID, but now we have taken this a bit further to actually measure how crowded each level of the library is. Because students, as I said, SMU is very small, it's very crowded. So students would like to know which level, which study area is available so that they can go to the area that is less crowded. So this is an example of application of IoT where we install sensors at the entrance and exits, and then we count the occupancy of each level. Going forward, we are installing more sensors so that we can even go to the different zones of each level. So we still trying to do that. Yeah. Yeah, a bit about user-centric services. When we do all these digital platforms, we must not forget our users. So this is an example of when we are engaging our users. So we have one project that we want to renovate our level 2 of a library, but we do not do it ourselves. We invited the academic director, we invited the student union group, we invited schools representatives to be part of this brainstorming ideation process, because they are the ones who are using the library space. They are the ones who say who will know best how to use the space. So we try to have this design thinking approach when we are designing or developing our digital platforms or designing our spaces. Another example that I can show you is how we prototype just using paper on when we want to build our a library mobile app. So we got a group of students to brainstorm what are the apps that they find popular, what are the features of the apps that they find popular, and how would they imagine a library app would look like. So they design it on paper, and it gives us a lot of ideas on what they find as a library services, what they find as not a library services, and what they envision a library app would see. Because I will strongly believe that what people say and what people do and what people say they do are all different things. So we must get inputs from our users, because we are not our users whenever we are trying to roll out or implement digital platforms. Okay, in terms of platform management, in SMU libraries, we have all these platforms a lot. This I'm not even talking about the databases. These are just the systems and platforms that just now Prof. Ari said talk about in terms of the productivity and the services. So one way of looking at this is just now Prof. Ari talked about is the productivity and services. But if we can also look at it as functions, because the library is always structured in different areas. Like for example, our library is in charge of art collection, and we have one system that is a repository that talks about that is an art inventory system that has a specific metadata and records about all the art collections in the library. Our corporate services, like I just now said, they had the people counter system. They manage how they want to know how crowded, how was the visitorship of the libraries. For our communication and outreach department, they take care of our websites, they take care of our digital signages, and also they take care of our social media on Instagram and TikTok. Our librarians who conduct teaching, they generally work a lot on the research guides and the library FAQs, because these are the knowledge base that they would write articles and tell students how to access this, how to do certain library functions, how to look up for the information, how do you extract data from Bloomberg, how this and that. And our digital repositories, we have a few here. Looking at our scholarly output from our researchers, research data, specific ones, and even information management system. Last but not least, these are more the productivity, the back-end systems, where we have our library management system and our library automation system, the RFID, and our access asset authentication systems. So this is one way of organizing the different digital platforms that we have that support the library. I also offer a different way to think about it. We can also think about the main thing is library services platform. So this is typically the library management system or integrated library system. Nowadays it's called library services platform, because of the nature that is on the cloud. The nature that is has open APIs where we can extend the functionality of the library workflows, as well as it has integrated electronic resource management. It has integrated cataloging management. It also has integrated patron management and circulation management. Everything is in one system and on the cloud. Another class of systems is our content management system. To be specific, is the web content management system, typically used by our librarians to write articles, to publish research guides on how to use certain information, to use certain databases, how to use Icon, how to use Bloomberg, how to use this marketing database, how to use EBSCO, ProQuest, Science Direct, and so on and so forth. We also have digital repositories. So the difference in this is that because they are repositories, each of them have their own set of metadata standards, metadata schemas, and like what Prof. Ari said, they have to comply to OAIS standards. Typically, they are all OAI PMH compliant. That means you can harvest data and exchange data from one repository to another. Okay, and then nowadays, see, I'm always quoting back Prof. Ari. We need to have a data analytics platform to gather all this information and make certain decisions based on data. This one I will elaborate a bit more. And the number one expenditure is all the subscribed library databases. With all the databases that we have from A to Z that we subscribe to. So each of them, each of the class, I would say, requires a different type of skill set that the library or information professional should have. Okay. So a bit about library services platform. This is the term that has been used nowadays instead of library management platform. So it's because it is sitting on the cloud. As of by end of this year, I would, in SMU libraries, I would have gotten rid of all my servers. Because this process of removing servers, I think since I joined SMU almost 10 years ago, I've been trying to get rid of all the hardware servers and moving everything as a software as a service or infrastructure as a service or platform as a service. So while cloud computing has existed for a very long time, but the process of digital transformation to get rid of the physical servers is taking a very, very long time because we need to plan all these changes. So one library management system that have lived on the cloud is this library services platform, which is the backbone of all our resources of electronic, physical, and how we manage metadata, how we acquire the resources, how we do the cataloging, create the records, how we publish for discovery, how we exchange, do the invoicing, collect the purchase, send the purchase order, and get the invoice. Is all done through this library services platform. And the main important thing that I wanted to highlight is because the importance of this architecture is it's the APIs. Because of the APIs are open, so we can do a bit more with this platform. Typically, last time library management systems, they exist as modules. You cannot do anything much with them, but with APIs, you can do a lot more things to extend the functionality of the library platform. One example is this. Yeah, so just now Prof. Ari talked about integration with university systems. So our university has an e-learning management system where we integrate it to our back-end library services platform. And in between is a reading list management system, where instructors would create reading lists that is relevant to their courses, and they will put it inside this system. And from this system, we will then see what is part of the collection that we can publish and put in the reading list. If it's not there, we will initiate some purchase or acquisition for the course, and then it will be put back into the reading list system where students can access the reading list. So this is one example that now Prof. Ari said about integration between the library system and the university system, and we are trying to show value by whatever the library collection provides is being used by students for their studies, and is used inside their course. So it's important to show the ROI or the usage of electronic resources. So another thing about API nowadays, we have a lot of digital platforms that talk about robotic process automation or business process automation. We are lucky in SMU that our campus IT allows or subscribes to the Microsoft Power Platform, where we can use this platform to automate a lot of workflows. So some things that my colleagues are exploring is how do we create new library membership records. For example, most of the students and faculty and staff will naturally go inside our library management system, but we have a group of users, for example, alumni. They have a different subscription model, a membership model where they pay to access. So we can actually automate this process from having an online form, and then the form will be processed using Power Automate. It will create the user record upon approval and create it inside to the backend in the library management system. It will also send notification to the users that all this. So this kind of workflow and automation nowadays, you don't need to know programming. You can actually use a low code or no code kind of solutions to do this workflow automation. So that is one example. Using the APIs also, let's say if you want to change the bibliographic data, you can change it very easily using APIs. And even in terms of payment integration of paying fines, student fines or what, we are exploring this using the APIs that are open. The cost integration I've explained just now already. And yes, this is something that our librarians, teaching librarians always do. They will write a lot of articles how to use EndNote, how to use APA styles, how you manage reading lists, how do you access open education. They will write a lot of things. So this kind of web content management system is used by our librarians who are teaching, and they use this content management systems to write a lot of these published articles, so that to guide the students, so that we try to make the learning self-directed, self-help. And as I said just now, the most, I think for any library, the expenditure is all databases, and we have around 170 over, which covers all these topics. Yeah. And on top of that, yes, so when they have problems with the databases, we have problems and trying to find a guide, we have a live chat service. So behind this chat service is a librarian who helps to answer queries if the students are stuck. So if you see at the side here, usually in every digital platform or any digital page or library website that we have this Ask Library button. If they press, they can go to a live chat service to ask help in, let's say, finding a resource. They want to find ask general information or want to have quick answers on where's the best way to find company data, what's the best database to find commodity data, and so on and so forth. So this is one area that is still manual, but going forward, because we have a lot of content in our research guides and FAQs, and all this metadata about databases. We are trying to make this a knowledge base so that we can leverage on chatbots or AI, so that they can do the first cut of this chat service. So what we are imagining in the future is that before a person answers, the student's query will be attempted by the chatbot first. If that doesn't go through or the question is a bit complex, then it will get escalated to a real person. Yeah, so we are still having that tiered system. Not everything is fully done by the virtual chatbot. Yeah, so we are trying to design this service with a lot of usability testing with students. As I said just now, we have a number of digital repositories. One of them is our art collection. Another one is our ink institutional repository, where our faculty members who are doing research will publish and the articles on journals, and we will have usually the final copy that we can make open access and put it into our institutional repository. This is for articles. We also have a repository that focuses on data, because nowadays we need to focus the research needs to be reproducible based on the FAIR principles. We need to supply the evidence when a researcher writes a paper. So the paper is usually supplemented by a data set. So we have a specific repository for our data sets. And this data analytics platform is one of the first projects that I did in SMU. So based on the different functions that we have, that the library is doing, what I did was I will collect all the data that is possible and feed it into a dashboard for data analytics purposes. So how I decide which data to use is depending on the strategic goals of the library and university. And based on that, what we want to measure as our KPIs, we identify which library services has it, and we identify which platform has it, and then go into specific data. So yeah, I still can remember this is the first project that I did, where I basically look at all the systems and take all the data and put it inside our ClickView, ClickSense. So if you can see here that I have a dashboard. Our electronic and physical data information is taken from our our library management system. Our inquiry services on how much inquiries we've done, we've taken it based on our interactions of our live chat and our emails, our ticketing system. Web statistics, we're taking it from Google Analytics of all the digital platforms that we have. You cannot see here, there's one more, there's something missing here. Our visitorship statistics will get data from our people counter systems. So we try to put everything here so that our library management or library leaders can slice and dice, click and analyze the data on to find trends, insights about how well the library services are being used. Oh, here, the visitor sheet. Yeah. So it's not an easy thing to do, but we try at least to give it at to present the data at the aggregated level. Because most of the time when library leaders or library management needs to make a decision, they need to have some evidence on why we need to do this, why we need to do it. One example is that one of the decisions was what time do we close the library during vacation. So last time when during vacation time, our librarians will be on duty until 7 p.m. sampai sore lambat. So based on data, we've noticed that during vacation time from 5 to 7, there's not a lot of students in the library. There's not a lot of interactions based on inquiries. So the library management, based on data, make a decision that, okay, for during vacation, we will stop work or stop duty at 5 p.m. So that is how data can help make certain decisions that is beneficial to improve the staff's productivity and as well morale. I've covered a bit on the platforms, but I want to talk a bit on the trends and challenges that we might be facing in the future. Okay, based on this report, if you haven't read this report, I will encourage every librarian and information professional to read this EDUCAUSE Horizon report. It talks about a few things, but I've highlighted a few here. It talks about the digital divide. In Singapore, we have an aging population, and because of that, there is always going to be the digital divide between people who can make use of technology well and those who cannot make use of technology well. So this is a challenge that we have to take note of the future. Even in university, we are expecting a lot more adult learners to come and continue lifelong learning to take our postgraduate programs. So how do we change our pedagogy, our platforms to suit their learning needs? Learning and data analytics is one area I've covered. Cybersecurity, privacy concerns, as highlighted by Prof. Ari just now. And one thing that we cannot neglect is AI. It will change the way we do a lot of things. But one thing that I need to highlight is this, is cybersecurity. As we are managing digital platforms, we have to be aware of this. I understand like last month, some of the public services in Indonesia suffered a cyber security issue. Yeah. So it's not a question of if, it's a question of when it will happen to higher education. So if you see this report this year, is very recent. A lot of higher education is being targeted by this cyber criminals. They are targeting the universities that have a lot of electronic resources, expensive electronic resources. Yeah. And this is another article that talks about how the British Library and the Toronto Public Libraries are also affected as well. So it is something that we have to work closely with our campus IT to secure our systems. So on top of delivering digital platforms that are usable, useful, and desirable to our users, we have to take note of this cybersecurity element and be a bit more serious in it. We don't have to be experts in it, but we have to work very closely with certain regulations that maybe our campus IT have enforced or needs to enforce in terms of the IT security policies. AI in libraries. So this is another trend that is coming. Like just now, yeah. So like this picture, nowadays I can create digital media very easily. I just have to type in a prompt. The prompt for this was AI in libraries, and it just created this picture. So even digital media creation, it can be made very easy. Yeah, but we need to learn how to use them. So there are a few areas where AI can help librarians or information professionals. But first and foremost, we need to be cognizant about digital literacy and AI. There's a lot of AI-powered search and research tools nowadays. This is a few that I've listed here. My colleagues who are heading the research and the data services are more expert in this. We can also see how AI or generative AI can improve selection, acquisition, or cataloging. Last month or 2 months ago, I went to a few conferences online. I know that the librarians in Chulalongkorn, Thailand, and even certain library in University of Hong Kong Technology and Science, they're exploring how to do cataloging using ChatGPT already. So they are exploring how to, based on a certain prompt or certain web page, they can generate the LCA subject headings and present or the mark record very nicely. So they are already exploring certain things. Our regional colleagues, we have a lot of things to learn from them as well. I've covered personalized user services. In the terms of in the future, there will be chatbots and virtual assistants. But one thing we need to take note is the ethics and responsibility of AI, because as you know, in the initial there were a lot of copyright issues with how AI, generative AI came about in terms of the training data and stuff like that. So we have to be mindful of certain issues as well as information professionals. And it will give us certain ideas on new competencies. For example, how do we ethically understand the legal challenges of handling data in terms of protecting private information and stuff like that. How do we adopt new technologies? How do we compare the different AI models? As you know, ChatGPT, OpenAI, Lambda, Gemini are not the only AI models. There are many AI models in the world right now. So how do you evaluate them critically, that they are useful or based on a source that is legit? And last but not least, sustainability. As you know, all these AI technologies use a lot of electricity. For example, I just read this morning, Google and Microsoft by themselves using electricity as much as more than a certain countries. As a company, they are using more electricity than certain countries. I think one of the countries was Jordan and the other one was Uzbekistan. They are using more electricity. So we have to think about all these sustainability issues when we are using certain technologies. Yeah. And to guide us, the university has, at least SMU, Singapore Management University, has certain guidelines on how we can use generative AIs. So the school is not like, I think certain countries like Italy, they ban ChatGPT. But in SMU, in Singapore, we encourage our students to make use of AI tools as learning aids. And then we also try to encourage our instructors to use generative AI tools as pedagogical tools. For example, in certain topics like programming, Gen AI is very good. You just have to write a prompt and they will just generate the code using, for example, GitHub Copilot. It's very easy to do coding nowadays. So it's useful as it helps to increase productivity. And we cannot say no to the students because next time when they are at the workforce, these are the kind of tools that they are using. So as a response to that, we need to teach our instructors on how to change the way they do assessments. For example, Gen AI can generate a lot of, can summarize and generate text messages. So we cannot have an assessment where we have our students write essays. We have to think of another ways or alternative assessments when we allow generative AI tools in the university. So we try to adapt our assessment approach in whatever courses or teachings we try to incorporate. And if let's say there is a misuse, there is a steps on how we try to detect the misuse of certain generative AIs. Okay, I think in all my slides I leave a link so you all can refer it later on because the explanation is much more than what I'm explaining. And that's it. So I covered a bit about digital transformation in the university and how it impacts our library services and how I think as a practitioner, how we need to manage our platforms in terms of the function, the classes, and I also touch a bit on the trends and challenges that we need to look forward to. So in summary, our digital platforms and systems support teaching, learning, and research. And when we do this, it also supports whatever university or library goals that we have. So the library exists to support the university, and we need to be focused in whatever the university goals is. But having said so, the most important thing, and I don't know whether it's coincidental or not, this is what Prof. Ari also said, is about library competencies. The librarians ourselves, we need to learn, unlearn, relearn, continue learning so that we upgrade our skills and competencies so that we know we are familiar with the digital AI literacies. We know how to make use of these new platforms and systems going forward to support teaching, learning, research for our library and university. And I have a few questions for you, the participants, to think. What kind of talent and skills are required for a digital library, digital first library? What investments or infrastructure are needed? Sometimes you cannot do things alone. So what kind of partnerships within the university or outside of the university are needed for digital transformation? This is something for you to think about. Okay. Maybe one last thing. If everybody can scan the QR code, I'm very interested to hear what everybody is thinking. And probably, yeah, if everybody can scan the QR code and tell me what's one thing that you learn that you think is useful or interesting from the presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salihin. And for the participants, you can scan the QR code that Mr. Salihin shared, and you can give a word about his presentation. We can give 5 or 3 minutes for the participants. Mr. Salihin, is it enough?
Sure. Yeah, I think more than enough.
Okay. Okay, while the participants scanning the QR code, thank you very much about your best practices from your library and hopefully your best practice can inspire us to do it in our library. And to summarize the main point from your presentation, I think you said that it is coincidence that your presentation with Mr. Ari also similar in the summary, that we need because there are some trends such as digital divide persist, data analytics, cybersecurity, and privacy concerns, especially AI related and AI related libraries. It needs new competencies for us as academic librarians to keep up with the situation. And Mr. Salihin also had a brief introduction about his library, and his library conduct blended learning, bit-sized library workshop about research skills, database searching, working with data, Python 101, and yeah, I think it's really fascinating to see your library. Thank you once again. Let's give him a big round of applause for Mr. Salihin.
That's it, Ma.
And now I would like to invite Mr. Ari Nugraha again on the screen, because we will conduct question and answer sessions. And I see some of the participants already submitted their question on the Slido link. Thank you for the participants for submitting your question and the committee who chose and display the questions. So we are going to have Q&A session and start with the first question from Miss Wulan from Health Polytechnic Jakarta 3. Her question is, to what extent is it essential for a college librarian to possess strong technical skills in managing digital platforms and resources? I think this question can be answered by both of speakers. Probably Mr. Ari, you can answer it first.
Okay, should I answer now or waiting for all questions?
No, you can answer. Please answer now for the first question.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I think this is also can be answered by Mr. Salihin about this. To what extent is it essential for a college librarian to possess strong technical skills? To what extent is actually a difficult questions to answer. I think there is no limit to what extent for college librarian. But I think at least if you, how to say, one of the technical skills, I think right now, like I think Mr. Salihin also mentioned, is about programming skills, right? I think most of professions right now, even right now in medical education right now, I think most of the students right now, they learn how to use programming. I think programming right now is not only in the domain of computer science students, but all, I think, to at least you can do programming to how to say, to collect your data, to analyze your data. For example, if you can use Python or R in analyzing data, that will be good. But I think to what extent, I think there's no limit for that. But I think basic programming skill to analyze, to manipulate data, I think that's important. And also, one of thing that I got, how to say, I got from Mr. Salihin presentation is the importance of the API. I think the application programming interface. I think if you want to, how to say, to maximize the use of data from the providers, then you need to learn their APIs. But to use the API, again, librarian need to learn programming, because again, API is a very low level. They kind of providing raw data, but from that raw data, if we can manipulate that data using a programming skill, using R or Python, that can be very valuable skills and competency that you can use everywhere. I think that's my answer. I think Mr. Salihin can give more complete additional answer for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ari. So programming is the key of everything's in this kind of digital platforms. Mr. Salhin, would you mind to elaborate more?
Yeah, I agree with what Prof. Ari mentioned. But if I have another senior librarian, he would argue that the first thing that you need to understand is the concept. Like for example, if you want to study about generative AI, you need to understand the concept of deep learning. You need to understand the concept of LLMs. You need to understand the concept of certain textual analysis methods. That's the first. Then secondly, after you understand how these methods can be used for research and then only you start learning the coding. But in any case, I echo what Prof. Ari is mentioning, that at the end of the day, you need to have some sort of basic understanding about coding. So I've put in the chat a program called Library Carpentry, which some of my librarians, my colleagues are instructors. It's totally free. You can go there and see on how to learn certain programming skills using Python and do simple processes like data cleaning, data wrangling, web scraping, interacting with APIs. So their lessons are free. You can take a look on, at least get a step on how to learn. Nowadays, all these resources are very easy. It can be found very easy online. It's a matter of whether we as information professionals want to upgrade ourselves or not. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So Mr. Salihin already sent to the chat box so we can learn more. Thank you. Now we are going to move to the third question because I think it's related to the first question and we will answer Chika's question later on. So this question coming from Michael, Mr. Michael from Universitas Tarumanegara. His question is, do you have any tips for how the college librarian can keep up with the development of digital platforms these days? So probably Mr. Salihin first, would you mind to answering this question? After that, Mr. Ari, give us some tips.
Yeah. It's as you know, technology nowadays move at a very, very fast rate. So whatever you implement today might be outdated by tomorrow. So nevertheless, that's why I just now gave the various classes of digital platforms that the library can explore. Like for example, if you are thinking of setting up a digital repository, while my university or my library has implemented 3 repositories for the different types of information, you can only start with one. There's nothing to say that you need to have 3 repositories. We can have one repository that manages data sets, manages institutional knowledge in terms of the scholarly output of researchers. You can even have the same repository to collect heritage photos of the university, all these artifacts. Start small, I would say, and then look for trends that are going going forward. Like let us now in terms of the EDUCAUSE report. That report is like published every other year, so you can understand at least at a global view with case studies, what are the trends that are impacting higher education and universities. Last but not least is in terms of what I wanted to say. I forgot my last point. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Maybe I'll pass to Prof. Ari first.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Salihin. So I'm coming from Institutional Repositories Division in our library, in UI library. So your answer is really inspiring for me also. Mr. Arif, would you mind to elaborate or give us some tips about it?
For the question number 2, right?
Number 3.
Oh, number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Sorry. Do you have any tips for the college can have a digital platform these days? Yeah, I think I think the answer for this is how to say first of all, I think the college librarian, they need to how to say they should have a network, right? I think university library, I think they have in Indonesia, they have networks, right? And then the important point is to always how to say in touch or keep in communicate with the the department or any library science program in the university. Again, because the knowledge, the science is coming from the how to say the program, the education program, and then the librarian is the practitioner should have some, in order to keep up with the development of digital platforms. Okay, we also need to keep up with what actually happening in the in a digital world, right? In education, in library, in information science educations. And then for that, you can you use your network. You can how to say, from the network you can have some kind of sharing with friends who already implementing some of more advanced technology or digital platforms. And also it's also important to every day keep learning, and keep how to say, keep up with the trend in technology. This is also important, right? If you don't keep up with the trend, for example, you don't know that, oh, we have we have an AI tools to do this, okay, and you just keep doing your things manually, and then because you're so ignorant about this this development, and then, oh, okay, some of your friends doing some things 4 or 5 times more faster than you because they use some AI tools. For example, they create presentation using AI tools. They ask the chat GPT to, could you make me some outlines for my presentation, themes like this, or for example, you just have to learn some to make some good prompt for the AI, and then you can you can do your task faster. I think keep up with the current technologies development is important for academic librarians, I think.
Thank you very much. So networking and then make collaboration with your library and information science department, and also keep up with the trend that nowadays, we also never ending learning. Yeah, we still use that quotes. And now we're going to move to the second question from Miss Chika from Loyola School Semarang. How to manage ebooks while respecting copyright, but also required to provide open access to literacy for users. Probably Mr. Salihin, you can answer this question, please.
This question is a very tricky question, because when we buy ebooks, purchase ebooks, there is usually a contractual clause that says what we can do or what we cannot do with the ebook. But in Singapore, we have the revised Copyright Act, and then there is always this small clause that talks about fair use. So as long as, if I'm not mistaken, it is one chapter or less than 10% of the book, we can reproduce some parts of it for our course readings. to take out those relevant chapter and passage for our course readings. So it's not fully open access for those ebooks that we acquire from publishers, but at least there is some leeway in terms of the Copyright Fair Use Act. Another alternative is if we can start looking at open educational resources. This is another topic for another time, but essentially open educational resources are resources where they are created or compiled by faculty members, and some of the textbooks or these resources are made free, openly, gratis. And the instructors can use the open educational resources as it is, or they can even modify, adapt the resources to suit their teaching and course that they are. So those are the alternatives that I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Salihin. I think it's already clear about how you explain on managing ebooks. Now we're going to move to the another 3 questions that already selected by the committee. The 4th question from Mrs. Merianti from Maritime Academy, Suaka Bahari, Cirebon. Can you give us suggestion how to minimize or handle the negative impact of the cloud service, especially about the safety of our data? Probably Mr. Ari, I think this is relevant to your subject. You can answer Miss Merianti's questions.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much about the questions about how we handle negative impact. So I think if we reflecting back to the case of our national data center tragedy that happened last week, if we want to put our data in a cloud service, that we must make sure that the data that we put is not a sensitive data, I think. So, and then how to say, a cloud service is not the storage is not the owner of the storage is actually not us. We only lease some space like that. Like we rent some apartment and then we put our things inside the rooms, right? Once the subscription ends, then we need to we need to take back all our data or the data. We don't know that is the cloud providers gonna really erase the data. If they comply to the rules, they're gonna erase all of our data in the clouds in a certain days, right? Or they're providing some kind of a solution for us to download all the data. I think most of the reputable cloud providers, they provide that kind of features. But I think that the library should should classify which data can be stored in a cloud service and which data are not. Okay, and then you should also make some, of course, backup of all of that data that you stored in the cloud service. Okay, backup can be you can back up your data in a physical storage. Maybe you have external storage that you can use, or you can use another cloud provider. So in another place that you can make sure that this cloud provider is not, is different entities, right? Okay, they use different kind of location. So yeah, I think it's important to first to classify which data that you can store in a cloud space, and then which data should be private or not.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ari. For Mrs. Merianti, I hope that Mr. Ari's answers satisfy you and can give your a brief and explanation about handle the negative impact of using cloud service. Now we're going to fifth question from Mrs. Filianti Rizky Utami. I think this question is for Mr. Salihin. As a librarian, can you recommend productive tools that librarian can easily use to analyze the data? So because we are still learning and learning, so the highlight of this question is easily used by a librarian.
Yes.
Please, Mr. Salihin, give us enlightenment.
Um, Okay, nowadays a lot of our faculty from School of Social Science and Humanities are asking the librarians to teach their students and even them to use R and Python for statistical analysis and data analysis. But if you want a tool that can be easily used, I do not know whether your university is using Microsoft products. Because one of the Microsoft products that you might already have a license for it is Power BI. That is one. Two, other things that you can explore is ClickSense. They have a public domain version where you can explore, putting some data and then visualize the data to analyze the data. Another product is Tableau. So these are the three, if I remember correctly, from Gartner's Magic Quadrant. These are the three leading market players currently, and they have a public version that you can explore. If they have distributors in Indonesia, you probably can ask them whether they have some sort of academic license that you can tap on for teaching and exploring these tools for data analysis. This analysis targeted for people who don't really do programming. That basically you upload the data, you drag the data, and then you drag the charts that you want to do and try to organize it into a data schema that you can analyze the information. Yeah, so these are probably some of the tools that I can remember offhand. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now for the sixth question, I think it's already covered by one and third question. So we won't be asking both speakers about these questions. We are really sorry, Mr. Krishna from Unpad. And probably the committee, would you mind to show the other questions? Okay,
Sorry, just to add, if just now regarding the data analysis tools, just be careful because the data analysis tools, when you are inputting the data, like Prof. Ari said, you are putting the data on the cloud. Just make sure you don't input your personal data or patron data or sensitive data into the cloud for data analysis. That's something that you have to be mindful when using these so-called free online digital platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. So be careful to our personal data or privacy. Okay, now this is the seventh question from Mr. Nyoman Okadharma, Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha. How to overcome or anticipate some challenges in digital technology platforms? Well, this is related to the previous question, yeah. Data security and privacy, online fraud, and dependence on technology. Probably we give this question to Mr. Ari. Would you mind to answer Mr. Nyoman's questions?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is also, I think, already also mentioned by Mr. Salihin that I think in this case, the academic librarian, they couldn't work alone. They should collaborate with the, how to say, with the people who manage the infrastructure in a university. And I want to how to say, to reiterate what Mr. Salihin said, that the is not is only time when we will get this kind of how to say problem with cybersecurity. I think in this case that the first of all that we need to collaborate with the mostly with the maybe the IT department in a university, how we can how to say, avoid some kind of this online fraud, cybersecurity problem, and data security and privacy. Because I think academic librarian should focus on the content, right? They shouldn't focus on the how to say, thinking about data security or something. Yeah, we need to think, but the concern about that, the security about that kind of data security, we should collaborate with our IT department in the university. How we guard our systems in library systems, that that the library shouldn't. I think academic librarians should not think about how to strengthen our, for example, our firewall, our proxy, like that. So we focus on the contents, and then the other things, the infrastructures, we collaborate with our IT departments. And regarding, I think specifically about the online fraud, I think online fraud this is also a kind of becoming some kind of worrying trend in Indonesia right now, especially if we talk about online gambling right now, right? Or judi online. I think this is also concerning matter in Indonesia, and I think especially academic library, they have important roles in this case, right? So how you can how to say, how we as we academic librarian, you can educate students, you can educate faculty members to avoid some kind of online fraud, because I think I got some experience that some of our faculty members, they got how to say, scam by by some even though our faculty members is a very smart person, that scam can be you can be victim of the online scam anytime, anywhere. So I think the roles of academic librarian here is very important to educate, and also educate yourself, of course. Okay, you also educate yourself not to become the victim. Okay, I think I just want to share my experience. Just recently, I joined some kind of online platforms, and then suddenly there is some kind of private message asking me, impersonating as the the official person for that platform, and then they asking me to confirm about my credit cards. Right? It's so convincing right now. So right, he confirmed, and then he asked me to provide, and then if at the last time I didn't recheck again, about this, then I will be a victim. So it's important that this online fraud educations should be, how to say, should be a program for academic librarian, right? So please, this is important thing to do, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe,
thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Salihin.
yeah, maybe I can add on, because in terms of data security and privacy, things like data classification and cybersecurity IT policies are not are not just led by the library. It's done at the university level. So at the university level, not just the library, but every other department are subjected to the same data classification policies. That means we know very clearly that this data is restricted, this data can be made public, this data is sensitive and secret. And based on that, the IT departments would advise where certain data can be put. So it is more of at a university level that we have to adhere to all these rules. If that is not done, maybe we can talk to our university senior management about implementing some of those rules. And to talk about the online fraud in Singapore, we are like Singaporeans, based on WhatsApp message or whatever, there is a lot of scams as well in Singapore. A lot of people are losing money through scams. So like Prof. Ari said, as librarians, we should be the ones to first educate ourselves, and then educate our patrons, our users about fake news, scams, misinformation, all these things that will be detrimental to the users. So we have an important role to play in discerning what is right and what is not right, because it is part of our librarian skill set. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your experience.
Mrs. Intan, can I add another
Of
more?
course, of course.
So this
Please.
is, I think, from I want to share from my university here in Japan, University of Tsukuba. So one thing that I like from the how to say the library program here is that every new students, they got education about cybersecurity and data privacy. I think also in Mr. Salihin University also teach about that for the new students. I think also is important that the librarians, particularly academic librarian, make some program, user education program about cybersecurity, especially how they handle the data. For example, here, is it very strict that every students, even here we as a first last time, every first year students, they have to take some online course about digital privacy. Okay, so that course should be taken by all students if they want to graduate. So in that course, they teach about what kind of information that we should keep, what information can be shared, and what kind of, for example, for the cybersecurity, what kind of software that we can install in the university environment, right? So for example, one of things that really forbidden in my university here in Japan is that all students must not use sharing a file sharing platform. For example, like using torrent or peer-to-peer, any peer-to-peer software that will have some kind of probably high possibility of malware, ransomware, or like that. Okay. If the students, proven to have installed this kind of software, which many times happens, because the IT infrastructure here, they can detect which computer can have that kind of access, they will get suspended for that. So I think the rule is very the rule is very strict, and the punishment is really high for that. So it's important for the academic library, I think, to make some program about the data privacy and also about cybersecurity. That's also important thing, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much for your experience and for your sharing about data security and data privacy. I think it really gives us inspiring idea, especially for academic librarians that already preparing to welcoming new students this month and also the next month. Probably we can educate ourselves and educate themselves about cybersecurity, data security, and about digital technology things. Okay, now we move to the eighth question from Mrs. Purwani Istiana from Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta. Please explain the difference between research tools as productivity digital platforms and research tools as services digital platforms. So I also do not know the difference between these two. Probably Mr. Salihin, you can, would you mind to answer this question?
Okay. Okay. I think, for example, some research tools that I think as some researchers or research staff use is some citation management software like EndNote or Zotero. Those are things that are done to improve their productivity. And these tools have an online version that is used specifically for them. But when you are looking at services, research tool as services, like for example, certain platforms like Google Colab Cloud, you can use the online service to do some sort of data analysis of data. So I guess the small difference would be one is personal, the other one is made available. I think it's a bit blur also lah in defining what is a productivity. One is user facing services. Maybe Dr. Hari can explain more.
Okay, please. Sorry, Mr. Salihin, could you repeat your last statement?
Oh, probably I was suggesting Prof. Ari maybe can explain a bit more also lah, because this was from his slide.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Please, Mr. Ari.
Yeah, so thank you. So the difference between the productivity and service is actually productivity is actually for the librarian itself. Okay, so and the service is actually for user, and sometimes maybe the tool sames, but only the how to say, the librarian can also use the plagiarism checker tools, and then users can also use that kind of tool. So this is only matters of perspective of use of software, I think. Productivity I mean for the library to how to say, to improve their performance, to help in doing their daily task, right? And then service is actually digital platform that directly used by the users. That's why I make those kind of category, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, because our limited time, probably Mrs. Ratiri's questions will be answered fast from both speakers. What are the speakers' thoughts on implementing a security system specifically for copyrighted sources? Mr. Salihin, you can answer it first.
Copyrighted. Okay. I guess if I'm trying to understand the definition of copyrighted sources. Probably those are things written by the faculty or the students, because they own the copyrights for their materials that they publish. So a security system would probably be the repository, and in any repository nowadays you can choose to make certain content open or closed. So if it's open, it's available to the public. Of course, if the author grants permission for the work to be licensed and made publicly available, you can make the content open. If not, because the student or faculty is working for the university, you want to have an institutional copy, then it can be made closed and only accessible within people in the university. But having said so, when you are implementing any repository or security system, you have to adhere to the IT policies and work with the campus IT, university IT, to see what cybersecurity measures need to be in place, especially if the platform is hosted on the cloud. Yeah, so I'm just reinforcing what myself and Prof. Ari are saying, that all these checks and balances, when we go for a SaaS solution, we need to check whether the provider has the necessary capabilities to make sure they are compliant in certain IT procedures. Do they have a backup? Do they do their backup? Do they have firewalls in place? Are they compliant in their SOC2 reports? Do they conduct disaster recovery exercise every year? So there is a long list which of checklists which I think your campus IT will be the experts in evaluating the systems per se. So you have to be. Remember my last question on who will be your partners. Your campus IT is your best partner when implementing digital platforms.
Yeah, thank you very much. So UI Library also had a good collaboration with IT department in university level. Mr. Ari, do you want to add like brief answer or is it enough from Mr. Salihin?
Yeah, I think it's enough from Mr. Salihin. Well, I think that's he already answered the questions. So
Thank you. Yeah, because we still need more time for the next question. Please, the comedy, would you mind to display? So yeah, two last questions in the remaining 6 minutes until 11:40 Jakarta time. So the question from Mr. Syahrul Arif from Universitas Trunojoyo Madura, is it possible to establish library in full digital without building or space, all in virtual, without any printed material? So Mr. Ari, is it possible? Please answer this question.
okay, for me the answer is not possible. It's not.
Okay.
You at least you still need some space for librarian to do their works, because all the resource, I think all the resource should be managed by the librarian, right? At least unless we want to how to say it, librarian want to give all their works to the AI, then you don't need any space or building, I think. So for me, I think maybe without any printed materials is possible. You want to build a full digital collections, but without building or space, I don't think it's possible, because I think right now, especially in academic library, I don't think it's good to have a full digital library, because I think Mr. Salihin University or UE Library providing some common learning space, right? I think that's kind of space is important for students together to learn, because if you think library is only thinking a library is only about book, that's thinking about many decades ago. We need to think library as a more, how to say, in a broader term, is it a place to learn, not place for books? It's a place to creating idea, to support students' idea. How we librarian not only providing them with some resource, but we also providing them with some support in how they learn. I think this is the mindset that we need to, how to say, to have, that the space in library maybe it's not only for books, but is only for learn, is for to people for enjoy, right? So they have, after they have some, they got some boring lesson from the professors, they need some place, right? Some good place to to ease their mind with their friends, and library should be that place, I think.
Thank
I
you
think.
very much, Mr. Ari. And now, last but not least, from Mrs. Santi Santika from Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. I think this question is for Mr. Salihin because there is SMU library in it. Is there any library or the SMU library has an AI chatbot that is used to provide information services or other user services? And what features do they provide? Please, Mr. Salihin.
Okay. One short answer is akan datang.
Soon,
So
soon.
akan datang. Maybe next year because um, uh, um, at the moment I am building a new repository for the university that captures our university history and photographs and artifacts because next year is our 25th anniversary, Silver Jubilee. So that's why I'm building a digital repository first. But my other colleagues, like I said, we have all the knowledge base in terms of our research guides and FAQs and whatever content management systems we have. And the problem now is that there is a lot of learning models, a lot of tools. We are still evaluating which one is the best tool to create chatbots. And going forward, if I probably we wait for a while, making such a chatbot will be very, 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 very easy. I just have to specify, get data from these websites, and then using RAG, retrieval augmented generative AI, the answers will come quite easily. So that's why we have moved our priorities. We are waiting for the right moment to implement a chatbot that will be useful. Because more importantly is the chatbot going to be well used by our users or not? So we have to do some sort of usability testing with our users, sit down with our students, let them try first before we even roll it out to the whole community. Yeah, so we have steps when we are
Yeah.
trying to roll out services. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully it will be run well and can be used by faculty members really well too. Okay, thank you everyone. Now we have come to the end of question and answer session. For the remaining questions, we apologize. Unfortunately, we cannot answer all of your questions today. And in this final 5 minutes, I would like to ask our speakers for their final thoughts or their closing statement. And I am going to start with Mr. Ari Nugraha. Do you have any closing statement, please?
Yeah, maybe my closing statement is please keep learning and learning. That's all.
Thank you very much. Very inspiring. Never ending learning. Okay, next, Mr. Salihin, would you mind to give us your closing statement?
Same in Singapore at a national level, our government is encouraging everybody to continue lifelong learning. That means even beyond university, or even if you never go to university, you stop to work, you should upgrade ourselves. And there is a large what do you call it, push for us to continue learning. So this is something that librarians do every day, and librarians and information professionals do every day. So I think we have a large part to play in ourselves learning and helping other people learn, unlearn, relearn, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So be a lifelong learner. Yeah. Okay, and now let's give big applause for our speakers by give your reaction on your Zoom menu. Okay, with the closing statement from our speakers, we have reached to the end of the session. And let me briefly summarize the main points and takeaways from our speakers. We have heard from two amazing speakers today who have given us perspective and insights about digital platforms and digital transformation in libraries. And both of our speakers have shown to us that this topic is really dynamic and offers many opportunities and also challenges for individual, but for for organizations. And they also have shared to us best practices so we can get involved more in our library. And after that, we have some lively discussion and interesting question and answer from audience, especially about data privacy, cybersecurity. So thank you for your active involvement and contribution. On behalf of the webinar committee, we would like to say thank you for Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali and Mr. Ari Nugraha for sharing your knowledge, your expertise, and experience with us, and also for coming to UI Library, even though virtually. Hopefully, we can have a better opportunity and do more collaboration in the future, and we hope you to stay healthy and stay safe. And on behalf of the committee, we would like to present small token of appreciation for your presence as a speaker in this webinar. We would like to present a certificate for Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali. Please, the committee to display certificate for the first speaker, Mr. Salihin Muhammad Ali.
Okay. Mr. Salihin, thank you for participating as a speaker in the UI Library International webinar. Please accept the certificate as speaker at UI Library. Thank you very much, Mr. Salihin.
Saya Ibu Maria.
Terima kasih. Luar biasa.
Okay, we would like to present a certificate for second speaker, Mr. Ari Nugraha. Please the committee to display certificate for Mr. Ari.
Okay, Pak Ari Nugraha, thank you very much for participating as a speaker in the UI Library International webinar. And please accept the certificate as a speaker at UI Library. Terima kasih, Pak Ari.
Terima kasih Ibu Maria.
Ya, you're welcome. Makasih. Gimana di Jepang? Dingin?
Lagi musim panas sini.
Oh, panas. Oke, terima kasih. Sehat-sehat selalu. Terima kasih, Pak Salihin. Thank you, Pak Salihin, Pak Ari. Makasih.
Thank you, Mrs. Maria and the committee that already shown the certificate as our small token of appreciation to our speakers. Thank you again. And we hope to see you again on the next event of our library. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we entering the quiz session that Mrs. Mutia already waiting for 5 minutes because it's running a little bit late. We are sorry. I would like to remind all the participants to please fill out the attendance link. You can click on the chat box or that this link can only be accessed until 3 p.m. Jakarta time. So webinar materials and e-certificate will be sent by an email. Okay, without any further ado, we entering the quiz session, and I would like to invite Mrs. Mutia to guide our quiz today. And there will be some attractive prizes to some winners. So let's start, Mrs. Mutia.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Invan, and thank you to all the speakers for the awesome presentation, and congratulations on of the successful webinar. And all right, everyone, good afternoon, and welcome to the International Webinar Quiz Session. My name is Mutia, and I will be your quiz host for today. In this session, you will have an opportunity to win exclusive souvenir from Universitas Indonesia Library. And to enter the quiz, it is very simple and very easy. I will share the quiz first. Okay, all you have to do is go to joinmyquiz.com and then enter the game code 565 and then 892. And for now, we have like 440 participants. So I will wait maybe for 2 minutes for you to join to the quiz. So make sure you go to joinmyquiz.com and then enter the game code 565892 and then enter your name to join the quiz because we have 3 souvenir from Universitas Indonesia Library. I'm so excited to have you to join with us, but just a quick note, if you have previously won one of our quizzes, we kindly ask you to sit this one out to give other chances to participate. We value everyone's enthusiasm and we want to create a fair and inclusive environment. Okay, once again, to enter the quiz, it is very simple and very easy. All you have to do is just go to joinmyquiz.com and then enter the game code 565892 or click the link in the chat box and then enter the game code. So I will wait at least until 100 participants of the quiz and then I will start the quiz. Okay, don't forget to use your real name. So the committee can write down your name when you win the quiz. Okay, we have 65 participants of the quiz. Anyone want to join? Okay, we still wait. Okay, don't forget, if you have previously won one of our quizzes, we kindly ask you to sit this one out to give other chances to participate. Okay, I think we have enough participants for the quiz. So let's begin the quiz. Okay, the first question. One of the benefit that can be gained by using digital platform is, I think this is very easy for you to answer. Just make sure you answer the question very quick so you can get more points from quizzes. Okay, we still have a time to answer the question. Okay. So let's see the leaderboard in the top position. Okay. So let's go to the next question. The following are some areas of library performance and services that can be improved by data and metadata produced by digital platform. Except, okay. So let's answer quickly so you can get more points from quizzes. Okay, time's up. So let's see the leaderboard. We have M. Prabhu on the top position of the leaderboard. Okay, let's move to the next question. We only have 6 questions, dear participants, so make sure you answer all the questions right. To use and manage digital platform effectively, librarians need to possess these competencies, except okay, we still have like 10 seconds for you to answer the question. Okay, let's see again the leaderboard. Wow, there's a lot of changes on the leaderboard. Okay, let's go to the next question. Changing the way the business operates by taking advantage of digital-first process and information to achieve significant efficiencies and enhance value through operation change is the goal of. Okay, we still have 5 seconds to answer the question. Let's see the leaderboard. Okay, PP is still on the first position, and then on the second position we have M. Prabhu. Let's go to the next question. The following are the examples of library system and platform. Exam, okay, we still have a time for you to answer the question. Okay, time's up. Okay, on the first and second position, still C, P, and M Prabu. And then let's go to the next question. I think this is the last question. Goes and McCoy on 2024 recommend some new competency that will tackle some of the challenges emerging from a highly digitized and AI-driven world. Those competencies include okay. Wow, the first position is Prabhu, and then TP on the second position on the last question. Okay, this is the last question. Let's see the leaderboard of the all quiz session. Okay, congratulations to the winner. The winner are M Prabhu, PP, and Dinda. So to claim your prize, please contact UI Library Public Relation Officer via WhatsApp, and then the committee will share the number in the chat box. You will have to confirm your contact information and address because we will deliver the souvenir to your address. As we conclude this quiz, let's remember that it is not just about the competition. It is about understanding and improving our skills as well as gaining valuable insight for your professional career development. Finally, thank you all for participating in this quiz. We appreciate your enthusiasm, and once again, congrats to all the winners. Have a fantastic day, and now back to the moderator, Miss Intan.
Thank you very much, Miss Mutia, for the very fun quiz, and congratulations for 3 winners, Dindang, PP, and M Prabu W. Please refer to the information shown on your screen and chat box to claim your prize. And we would also like to announce 3 selected participants who submitted their questions to our webinar. They are Michael from Universitas Tarumanegara, Nyoman Okadharma from Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha, and Syahrul Arif from Universitas Trunojoyo Madura. Congratulations. Don't forget to refer to the information shown on your screen and chat box to claim your prize. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you once again to fill out the attendance form, which shown on the screen. And the committee will also write down on the chat box. Don't forget that this attendance link can only be accessed until 3 p.m. Jakarta time. And materials and e-certificate will be sent by an email maximum 3 days after this webinar. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you to the next agenda is photo session. The committee, you may lead the photo session.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, and thank you.
Thank you very much for participating in the last photo session. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of University of Indonesia Library, we would like to say thank you, especially for the speakers and participants for your active participation today, because we have come to the end of this webinar. I do hope that you enjoy this webinar, and if you have any question, do not hesitate to contact our library via email pro.lib@ui.ac.id. And we would like to thank the UI Library partners, iGroup, Jasa Raya Tama Jaya Buana, Elsevier, and Sagung Seto. See you on another webinar and have a great day. And quoted from our speakers today, be a lifelong learner. I am Intan signing off. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.